The other thing, though, is what if you don't really have that very many assets? Should you be worried about estate planning?
I think it's not just about the number of assets. It's what you're leaving behind in terms of what your family's dealing with at the time. So they're grieving for you and your loss. The last thing they wanted to have to do is have to worry about dealing with your administration of your assets and not having a direction of how to do that. I mean that you incur legal costs and everything else involved that you've left for the family to deal with. So and there's ways from a tax point of view where, depending on, like superannuation, lots of people have superannuation. That's generally it's not covered by your will. Unless you have a binding death nomination, then it's up to the trustee of that superannuation fund as to how they deal with the assets of your super.
Okay.
So in that situation, you may find that if you haven't made a nomination as to who's getting your superannuation, then it may not go the way you want it. It may not be distributed. It has to, for superannuation purposes, has to go to a dependent, but a dependent for super and a dependent for tax purposes are completely different, or not completely different, but there are distinctions. So you may find it will go out to somebody and then get taxed in a way that wouldn't have been the best way for that to happen. So you're actually leaving your family out of pocket as a result.
Michael? We've got a caller on the line. It's Anne from Sydney. Anne, welcome to Your Money, Your Call. What's your question?
I just wanted to know, because we have a property which our daughter and her family are living in and paying rent, and the intention is that the title will go into her name. But I was just wondering, is there any way of tying it up so that if the relationship breaks down, she's protected and, the partner wouldn't be able to make any claim on the property?
Forward thinking. Who wants to take that one?
Do you want to deal with the legal aspects of that?
Who's the title name at the moment?
It's in my name.
Oh, it's in your name?
It isn't, it's in my name, but eventually when the mortgage gets down, we're thinking of moving it over into her name.
Well, there's a lot of tax issues in changing the ownership from your name to your daughter's name. There'll be capital gains tax to pay, there'll be stamp duty to pay. So it would be preferable in that case, subject to other circumstances, if you left it to your daughter in your will where there is no capital gains tax or stamp duty implications.
Yeah. From an asset protection point of view, you could actually set up a testamentary trust in that situation, or some sort of other direction in order to exclude the partner from the benefit of the property. Mm-hmm. So within your will, it's not just left to her, for example. It's done within a trust relationship in order to pass through to be dealt with that way. So there's ways to protect the way you draft your will to protect that property from passing somewhere else.
So the most effective way to solve that Anne's problem?
Well, in this situation, you're right, from a tax point of view, I certainly wouldn't transfer the property beforehand because you've got stamp duty to pay,
right?
Which is, to me, is a wasted tax to incur, and capital gains tax, because from the sounds of it, you'll have another place, a principal place of residence, so you're not going to be able to claim an exemption over the property that the daughter's living in because it's not her property, so therefore she can't claim the exemption. So you're going to have capital gains tax and stamp duty, which you won't incur if you pass the property in that way.
Okay. And hopefully we answered your question there. Thank you very much for your call.
Thank you.